Right, questions and answers.
Here we go.
Okay.
So, first question is,
Yeah.
what bands or artists are smashing social media at the moment?
What bands and artists are smashing social media at the moment? Do you know, it's quite a good question, quite a vague question, because so many one thing is so many artists and bands, really big level bands, are fucking useless on social media, and they could make so much more of a difference if they sorted out. And a big reason for that is because they're bringing in social media companies and not getting involved themselves. But you really notice a difference when an artist takes control of their own social media. And a couple of guys that I've seen on different platforms, because I don't know many artists that just are good at social media across all platforms, but I've seen some great work from some artists and bands that are on different platforms. A couple of mentions would be, I love what John Mayer does on his social media, partially because I'm a fan of his work, but I think he has really put time and effort into learning where the music industry is right now and how social media affects that. I see him popping up on different sort of vlogs quite regularly. He was on Casey Neistat's vlog the other day, and Casey is one of the biggest vlogger in the world, and all of a sudden John Mayer pops up on that. He does really great Instagram stories, as well as the usual stuff on Facebook. He's quite prolific on all of his social media, so I think he's one that I watch because I'm trying to learn what he's doing, and I don't know if he's got a team around him or if it comes from him. But a couple of things that I think are really exciting is with someone like John Mayer, because he can pull this off live. If you can do that, if as a musician, as an artist, if there's things that you can do live, you know, if he goes and plays one of his tracks, if he goes and plays I don't know, slow dancing in a burning room, something like that. If he plays that live, I want to watch that. If the next day he does it in a different environment, I'll still want to watch it. So he's very, very good with how he pops up with his collabs. He's very, very good at his consistency. Every single day he's doing something. He's keeping you up to date between the behind the scenes of what he does. Other mentions, do you know what? Someone who's really great at certain aspects of social media is James Blunt, just because he's hilariously funny. And he's the type of guy that is more reactionary with his social media as opposed to proactive. So he doesn't go out looking for different ways of promoting himself on social media. But what he does do is he reacts to scenarios that either people dissing him, but he's a very funny person. So he's one to watch. Then you've got the obvious guys like DJ Khaled, which we were talking about in the office, who is the self-titled king of Snapchat. I think Chance the Rapper is doing a really, really good job. Basically, it's just ways of getting yourself in front of eyeballs. And I think what's more interesting is the amount of really big artists and bands who are not taking it seriously enough that could make a lot more of a difference with their bands, with what they do, by just taking it seriously. And they don't have to be on all the platforms, but just being on one or possibly two. You notice that James Blunt's really good on Twitter, DJ Khaled's really good on Snapchat, John Mayer's really good on Instagram. So it's picking one platform. You know, one thing that I think most bands are shit at is Facebook. I think most bands don't take their Facebook seriously, which is really weird, because when you're a massive artist, Facebook is as a platform is the one platform that can take whatever you throw at it. Whereas Instagram has got limitations with the 1 minute video. Whereas Facebook, you can put a 30-minute video on, you can put a 30-second video on, you could just put a status on. And most bands are really boring with their Facebook. So I think when it comes to social media, who's smashing it at the moment? Those are a few artists. I think DJ Khaled is really good at Snapchat. I love watching John Mayer, and I think John Mayer's the one artist I've noticed that's really trying to learn about how social media will fit into what he does. I think he does that very, very well.
So you're sort of saying look at lots of different artists that are all particularly good at one form of social media, maybe try and form a hybrid blend of all three?
Yeah, I mean, one thing I think we do with the social media is we're looking at quite a few types of social media so that we can experiment and then tell people or give people advice.
Yeah.
an experience with the social medias. If I was an artist, I probably wouldn't do this. I probably wouldn't be on 5, 6, 7 platforms unless I had a team around me that could help me out with it. I think if I was an artist, obviously you've got Facebook, but I'd probably try and build my audience on one platform. For me, I think Instagram is really good at that. You know, I say this quite a lot, but the biggest platform I see bands fucking up is YouTube, which for creatives is such an amazing platform. But I probably wouldn't be on all of them. But for those artists, I'd go and find artists that work on the platform that you want to get into, and I'd start to actually experiment with some of the stuff that they're doing. And for me, you know, when you've got someone like Chance the Rapper who's building his entire business and his entire music himself, you can't go much further than someone like that. And he's doing it so well.